know what the names were.
Masha, Julianne, Liz.
I always do that.
So I want to welcome everybody here to the Fall River Room for this morning's announcement. And this announcement has to do with safe routes to our public schools. In July of 2005, Congress passed federal legislation that established a national Safe Route to School program to improve student safety on walking and bicycling to school. The program was signed into law in August of 2005, and it was a program that was fully backed by our Congress and federally funded. The Federal Highway Administration and the Safe Route to School program has been working to set up guidelines and procedures and regulations to ensure that school districts across the country establish safe routes to school. The Safe Routes to School program operates in all 50 states, and since its inception, more than 15,000 schools nationwide have benefited from these federally funded grants. In Massachusetts, the Safe Routes to School program falls under the Massachusetts Department of Transportation. In school districts or individual schools that participate in the program for at least 1 year, and Fall River is a district that has been participating for the last 4 years, are eligible to apply for an infrastructure grant to improve walkability around schools, improvements in sidewalks and roadways, and also able to apply for designs to improve those paths to school. Schools can receive improvements up to $500,000 to improve their infrastructure. We were recently notified in Fall River that Fall River's proposal has been accepted by the Department of Transportation and has been slated to receive a grant to help improve our infrastructure. And working with Julianne Kelly, working with Masha Picard, working with Ken Pacheco and Byron Holmes and Tom Coogan, and various officials throughout the city of Fall River and the Fall River Public Schools, we have been able to identify the Voveris Elementary School as a school that is in need of improvements to its infrastructure. Our goal is to use this grant to approve approximately $1 million in infrastructure improvements that will help now improve sidewalks, improve traffic lighting, improve signage, make our ramps more handicap accessible, also markings on roadways. So our goal is to take a school like the Rivera School and improve all of the infrastructure around it, making it safer for our children who walk to school or bicycle to school. We want to make sure that a child has a safe route from his or her house to the school building's door. And the Rivera School is our first school that we're tackling, and we're going to use this funding when we receive it to make all of these improvements, but we're just not going to stop with the Rivera School. We want to use that as a school to highlight future applications on why this funding is so much needed here in the city of Fall River. So with that said, I want to bring up our next speaker, Masha Picard, who is from the Fall River Public School System, who is a strong advocate on healthier living and also school safety. Masha.
I do definitely work with the Fall River Public School System, but I'm actually employed by Greater Fall River Partners for a Healthier Community. It's a beautiful day to be talking about walking to school. It's pouring cats and dogs outside. 6 years ago, the city of Fall River was awarded a $320,000 grant from Tufts University for the prevention of childhood obesity. I was fortunate enough to be hired as the project manager for that particular grant. It was all about good nutrition and physical fitness. One of the initiatives that we had learned about through this Tufts University grant, which by the way only 3 communities in the country were awarded this grant. There was a community in Florida, 1 in Pennsylvania, and 1 in Fall River. So there are a lot of good things that happen here in Fall River, that being only one of them. One of the initiatives, again, that was explained to us was these walking school buses and programs to get students walking safer to school, getting a little bit more exercise and so forth. And I was curious enough to find out more about it, to have gone to a state conference sponsored by the Safe Routes to School program. As I sat in on one of the panel discussions, I saw a list of all of the schools or the towns that were involved officially in Safe Routes to School programs throughout Massachusetts. There were 57 of them. There was not a single school district from southeastern Massachusetts. There was actually one from Falmouth and Truro Elementary School, which I've worked in, and it's a small school, but nothing else from southeastern Massachusetts. And I thought, you know what are we doing wrong? And so I went to speak with one of the presenters afterwards and asked that very question. What is it we're not doing in southeastern Massachusetts, specifically Fall River, that we need to be doing? So we started talking with them and got involved in the 2 flagship Walk to School days that Safe Routes to School does. In October, we do the International Walk to School Day. In May, we do the Massachusetts Walk to School Day. 2 days walking to school does not a fit child make, so we're certainly looking to do more than that. But I am happy to say that Fall River, to my knowledge, is the only community in the Commonwealth that has 100% participation of every single one of its public schools in the Walk to School Day, including the high school, the resiliency schools, and that's something that I don't think anybody else in the Commonwealth can say. So beyond the Walk to School days, the 2 Walk to School days, Julianne Kelly from Fall River Mass in Motion and I have been working on walking and biking school programs that happen on a more regular basis. Right now we're working on an initiative called Walking School Buses. Back in the old days when I was in school, we walked to school uphill both ways, and this, you know the story, what we usually do, and what we did, and thought nothing of it. Today there are so far fewer students who are actually walking to school because of a perception that things are not safe, when in fact they really aren't much different than they were back in the olden days. It's just that if anything goes wrong, and nothing ever should go wrong, I mean certainly there should be nothing happening to any child in the way of danger in walking to school. But the fact that the media is there, it's instant. People know about this instantly. So we're looking at safe programs to get students walking in patrols, like we used to do in the olden days, to school in a safe way. So as we were assessing the schools that are in the city, we determined that with traffic congestion and not a great deal of parking around Viveras, that was a good place to start one of these programs. I'm very pleased to say that this Walking School Bus program is happening on a daily basis at Doran Elementary School. When Julianne and I first started talking about the walking and the biking to school programs, our initiative was based on fitness, that students, there are numerous studies, hundreds of studies out there that say that students who walk to school in the morning get to school much more attentive, they're much more ready to learn, they're much more ready to settle down than those that get bused or driven to school. So our initiative was based on physical fitness. However, with that not catching on quite as well as we would like, now the fact that we have an attendance issue in the Fall River Public Schools, like a great many other school systems, not just our own, that now with the idea that these walking school buses are pretty much that. They are walking groups that pick up more students along the way. What we are doing is we are targeting routes to school that go by homes of families where students are either chronically late or chronically absent, with the idea that we can pick them up on the way. If a mom is busy, has a younger child, a sibling that she needs to take care of and can't walk the child to school, the child can walk with people who have been co-rated, safe adults that are walking them to school. So again, we had chosen the Viveras School to start. Our initial information that we were given was that the grant could go up to $500,000. So when we just recently heard that Fall River was actually going to be getting $1 million, we were literally doubly pleased. So we're very grateful for it and can't wait to get those shovels in the ground, as they say.
Outstanding. I just really want to also applaud the great work that Masha has been doing with Partners for a Healthier Community and working with our public school children. I too have been participating in the walk to school with our students, and it's just so inspiring to see all of our children gather with their teachers and parents, even on a brisk morning, to go out there and to walk blocks to school. And it's great exercise and gets the children stimulated for that first spell. And with this $1 million grant, to know that we're improving the infrastructure along the school route is really uplifting to know. Julianne Kelly, Mass in Motion, has been doing so much, especially with Dr. David Weed and her team, to get Fall River healthy, physically and mentally. And through the fitness challenges, through the staircase galleries, through promoting health and nutrition and wellness, Fall River is really leading other urban municipalities nationwide on what's going on in a healthier community, and I want Julianne to talk more about that.
Thank you.
It's great to be here on this day to celebrate this achievement. And I have worked for the City of Fall River for the last 5 years as the coordinator of Mass in Motion. And that is a grant program that the mayor's office has received to improve our infrastructure, access to healthy foods, ways to keep our population healthy. And it's been wonderful working with the city departments and with residents from the city to make improvements in the walkability, the livability of our city. And I want to take a moment to thank from the planning department, Liz Dennehy, Ken Pacheco, Dr. Valancourt from the health department, and Byron Holmes, our city engineer, Jane DiBiasio, the grant writer for the city, and of course Mayor Flanagan for giving the kind of support that has led to these kinds of improvements, both walking groups in the city, bicycle committees, but this in particular because our children need to be more physically active so that they can come to school ready to learn. And what I'm very excited about is there's that beautiful Viveris School with an amazing staff over there who have participated in the planning for this grant and have sat down and talked about some of the problems regarding children's access, walkability to the school. And this will provide the means to make sure that those children, accompanied by adults, can make their way safely to school. And when that happens, we'll see kids coming into school who have been out in the fresh air, who have gotten some physical exercise, and are indeed ready to learn. So I want to thank Mayor Flanagan and all of the staff who've just been so supportive of the work of Mass in Motion. And we have seen great progress here in the city. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Also want to recognize Brad Buxton, who is our Director of Physical Education and Health for the Fall River Public School System. And you can see it's a team effort here. That the team went out and identified a school district, that being the Viveris Elementary School, and now to go out and make $1 million in improvements to our infrastructure, which is a big deal. $1 million goes a long way in one particular district to make sure that the traffic lights and signals are there, to make sure that the sidewalks are smooth or the handicap ramps are installed. Some of our parents who walk to school with their children are wheelchair bound. So you want to make sure that they are able to navigate their way safely to the school building. And just the painting and the lines and the markings, it's impressive. We have not received the award dates to when we receive the money. We're expecting to receive that soon. But as soon as it does come into the city, shovels will go in the ground and we will start our improvements. So it is on its way, and I want to thank everybody here for attending. Thank you.
Well, if you have a moment, do you
Yes,
have
Kevin.
actual plans now, design plans at this point?
I would give that to Byron.
Not, at the current time, we do not. The design's actually going to be done by a consultant to be hired by MassDOT. So we'll be working closely with MassDOT and District 5 on the design.
Do you have an idea, a conceptual design, or?
I think from the grant that Julie and Marcia put together, we kind of know what we want to do, but we have to sit down with the consultant. Obviously, everything has to meet current federal and state standards, especially when it comes to handicapped access.
Do you have any timeline on this?
I think we should probably have a design done sometime through the winter and early next spring,
And how about construction?
hopefully for next summer.
And how long would that take?
Well, $1 million project, you're probably looking at a 12-month construction period.
The summer of 2015? you
Yes.
saying? Yeah.
So hopefully completed fully by summer of 2016.
2016.
Any idea when you get the money?
Hopefully soon. We've been awarded it, but there has been no disbursement date listed. But Byron gave you a realistic timeline of what we hope to accomplish.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
If you wouldn't mind giving it to me in a nutshell, what we're here to discuss today.
The Federal Highway Administration has selected the city of Fall River, which is one of 3 cities nationwide, to receive $1 million in infrastructure improvements to improve walkability to our city schools. Working with our team, we identified the Viveras Elementary School as one of our school districts that is in need of improvement. So now we're going to work with Massachusetts Department of Transportation as well as the Federal Highway Administration to put together a conceptual design improving sidewalks and roadways and traffic signals and markings on the roadways to make sure that when our children walk to school, they're walking in a safe environment. And many urban children walk to school on a daily basis. Yes, many are bused or driven in a motor vehicle, but many students throughout the course of time still walk to school. And we want to make sure that, especially our elementary school students, who are walking to school with their parents or guardians or older siblings, have a safe pathway to the schoolhouse door.
This is a pretty big project. You guys have a lot of money for that.
$1 million goes a long way in infrastructure improvements, and this $1 million is going to be distributed and dispersed to one particular neighborhood. So now we'll work with the engineering team to put together the conceptual designs, and we hope to begin construction in the summer of 2015 and complete construction in the summer of 2016, making our pathways to school safer.
And I know you touched on it in your press conference, you touched on it in your first answer, but you just hammered home, why is this really important?
It's important because many of our children walk to school, and we want to make sure that when they leave their front door and walk to the schoolhouse gate, it's safe for them. We want to make sure that the sidewalks are safe and there's proper lighting and traffic signals so that there is no possibility of them getting injured as they walk to school. Student safety is paramount, especially with our little ones at the elementary school level. So this is a congested neighborhood this school is located in, and we want to make sure that with this $1 million grant, we're making it safer for them to walk to school.
One of the things I thought was interesting was the fact that Fall River is one of the few self-coached cities to take advantage of this, and the breadth at which you're taking advantage of this compared to other cities in the Commonwealth.
We have been working with our partners to make the city of Fall River a healthier community. We've instituted a number of programs which our citizens are taking full advantage of, whether it's a fitness challenge or a staircase gallery or encouraging our children to get outside away from the video games and exercise and join the sports team or bike or walk to school. It's important that we live healthier lifestyles, and we're doing that both mentally and physically, and with this grant, we're making sure that the environment is safe to do so.
What do you think, maybe you can't answer this question, but why haven't some of your neighbors around here taken advantage of this?
I don't know. It's difficult to say. As mayor, my administration has really looked at the big picture. Yes, the economy, public safety and education, the macro issues, but also the micro issues too, making sure that we educate our citizenry and do everything that we can to improve our infrastructure to make the city of Fall River a place where people want to visit and call home. So it's a micro issue, but when you look at the macro scale, it really makes a difference. Thank you very much. Thank you. Take care, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Actual physical work, how far out would it go from the school?
That's a deterrent of the engineering company to make. We've done walking assessments, so we've looked at sidewalks, we've looked at traffic calming kind of projects. So it's up to them now, the engineering company and Mass DOT, to determine, is it traffic lights? Is it some kind of median? Is it, again, is it the accessibility ramps on the ends of sidewalks? It's up to them to determine what. But originally, as I say, we were told it could go up to 500,000. So I was floored when we got the letter and they said it was $1 million. It's like, wow. The public really needs to know this is coming at zero cost to the city. This is a $1 million grant. That the other thing that they need to know, I mean, that's all coming to the city. They also need to know that for people who say we need more firefighters, we need more police officers, we need more teachers in the classroom, We absolutely do. However, this grant is earmarked specifically for this. This is the only thing that this money can be used
Yeah.
for, is the infrastructure around the schools.
Yeah.
We have a little
And-
space
Make
in
it-
Bench.
to encourage more walking.
So Mass DOT will hire the engineer, come up with
They
the
work with a
design?
company, TEC Engineering Company.
But you'll see me a lot more often.
They will work with, they already have, I mean, they're already
Okay.
on this, they're already looking, they've done walking assessments, we've
Yeah.
walked with them,
Yeah.
Julie and I have walked with them. And again, it's all to make it, to walking more safe, more
Mm-hmm.
palatable, to encourage families to walk to school. And it's good, it's going to take a
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
while, because they
nothing
need to
goes
do the
fast.
assessing, but,
Yeah.
you know, the idea that finally, you know, much to their credit, something is coming down here to southeastern Massachusetts, because when I looked at those 57 towns, it's like,
Yeah.
there's nothing down
Yeah.
here. And then when we realized we could go, you know, apply for the grant, it was like, invention, nothing gained, let's
Yeah,
go for it. We certainly
yeah.
have the need,
Yeah.
so.
Well,
So be it.
congratulations.
Thank you, well,
Thank you,
we're
Marcia.
thrilled, thank you.